Okay, love, so I really want to do something quick. I know it's been a while since I've done um, a meal for video, but I just want to do it's and by quick, quick is relative. It'll take an hour, but it's only because we're baking and roasting, and um, it's not complex. So I've cut my whole chicken roaster into 10, and I'm just going to score the meat with the long knife. That's a cutting knife. These wings don't need much. Normally this would be done with just legs and thighs, but I'm using the whole chicken because that's what I had. And we're going to cut to the bone to allow our za'atar to permeate the meat while it cooks. So make sure your knife is sharp. I think I need to hone this again. I'm not really going to worry about the wings. I have everything. I have the breasts, and I just want to cut through to the bone. The skin is on. That's going to be crispy. So we're just making cuts for our za'atar, which is a Middle Eastern uh, spice comprised of sesame, sumac, and herbs. This one is made in Toronto, or put together in Toronto, by Badaz. And my good friend Carol sent it to me because I couldn't find it. But I do love their visual identity. I think it's really cool. And it's produced by the Gorgeous Spice Company. So, for those up north, that's interesting to know. And so, yeah, I'm just cutting through. You know what? Here's a deal. I need to hone the knife. I've been using it a lot, even for vegetables and even for bones, which means it's it's become dull. So we're just going to hone it a bit. Up, up to the tip, 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 up to the tip. Holding one thing, moving the other. Okay, I've shown you that before. Anyway, now that's sharp. Okay, way sharp. See how it goes? And I just need to keep doing it, but not too much with the breast, because there's not a lot of bone in there, and it will fall apart if you cut. This one has no bone, so I'm just going to do a light cut. Anyway, this becomes evident. See, previously I couldn't cut through this one. Now I have. Now I have it. And that's just prepping the meat. Now you have to put that knife away and wash your hands because it's all chickeny. And now we're going to do the rub. So I want. Okay, now I need to get some scissors. So now I want 4 teaspoons of za'atar. Za'atar. Okay, hold on. I want to be able to seal it back up. Okay, so 3 teaspoons. 4. 1. We have a lot of chicken. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see all the herbs. I guess the herb part is proprietary because they don't list them. Herbs and salt. But we're going to add more salt. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil, olive oil. This is Middle Eastern, so of course it's olive oil. And I don't know, I'm going to go easy on the salt, but I'd say a teaspoon. But salt's important because it helps crisp the skin. So I'd say that's a teaspoon. And then we're going to whisk it up. But I'm just going to use a fork. I hope it's not too salty. And if it looks like it's too thin or too thick, add more oil. But I actually think it looks good. So let's put it in a bowl. And I'm going to pour some on there. Like that. It's gonna look green. It's gonna be green. Add some more chicken. Add some more Za'atar. And add the rest of the chicken. Add the rest of the Za'atar. And I could probably may as well use my hands. Meanwhile, we're gonna basically marinate this up together so everything is covered. You want that flavor in every bite. It's still cool from the fridge, so we're not gonna worry. We won't worry about leaving it out for 20 minutes while the potatoes cook. And I just want to get rid of this because it was very chickeny. And one of the things one would do is use fingerling, long, beautiful fingerling potatoes, but I don't have them, so I'm just using russets. I'm leaving the skin on. They've been washed and scrubbed. And we're going to make fingers. All right. The additional veg will be broccolini in this case. But you could use, see, I even forget the name because I hate it so much. Kale. Removing the tough ribs, stems. But I'm not a big fan of kale, so I just thought it'd be nice to use broccolini. See, here's a little mess here. I want these to cook in 20 minutes. The total will be an hour. So we don't want giant pieces, but I'm going to make them into spears, like that, so that they look good. So I can divide this quarter in two, which makes it an eighth, and then makes more spears. And I don't know if I need 2 whole potatoes. I'm not into carb-heavy meals, although I love pasta, so take that back. I don't know, that looks good. This one, I'm going to divide in half and make more spears by cutting on an angle. These tiny pieces will turn to mush, so there's really no point. Well, there's only a couple tiny pieces. But you know, it's a whole chicken, so let's do another half. Cut that half into eighths. Basically kind of like making chunky fries. I hope this is recording. Yeah, okay. So, chunky fries. I'm going to reserve that half. Then we're going to cut the onion, peel and cut the onion. Not peel, but slice up the lemon. I want to show you that not all of these are even. Some are tiny, but we want them to be the same size, so I'm going to cut 1 in half. And then this one looks like, see how thin that is and how thick that is? This one needs to be cut. You know, I could use chard in this, but just remember you add these. This is a crunchy, woody vegetable, so it needs to go in sooner than would something soft like chard or even kale with the stems removed. So we're just going to do this with the potatoes. That if it looks you've got little issues, you got to take them out. Yeah, I see it. Okay, so cut. Oops, here we go. And then this gets oiled. And here we go. And it goes on the bottom. And it gets seasoned. We want roasty, nice roasties. A little. Now, see, I've left too much salt there. So, don't use it all. And then here's the pepper. I know how much pepper's in this bowl. I have to grind some more. So, that'll be fine. And now we're going to use the oil, mix it up. And we have 2 racks on the first third and the second third. So this goes now into the first third for 20 minutes. But at 10 minutes, oops, sorry. Oh, I forgot to, guys, I'm trying to go too fast. The oven has to be up at 425. And there's no point in putting it in until it is. And then it'll be in, at 425, it'll beep and I'll put the potatoes in. I'll have the rest all cut up for you. And we'll remember to flip the potatoes at 10 minutes so that you get browning on both sides. Okay, folks, because I cut my potatoes so into such, instead of like 1 spear, 2 spears per length, I did 4, or cut it twice, so that made 3 or 4. I only roasted these on for, let's flip them around, for around 7 or 8 minutes the first time, and then flip them over and roast them only for another, and you can see they're brown, but hopefully they're not cooked because we have more cooking to do. So we just want to get them kind of spread out. They're brown, they're not fully cooked. In the future, I'll just do the spears this size because some of these other ones aren't going to be good. In the meantime, I have my chunks of red onion, which have been seasoned and coated in olive oil. So we're going to spread that around. And I've coated my broccolini in oil. They don't go into the end. Oil and seasoned. So we're just going to throw all this, the onions on. And this is in fact a 1-pan dish. It's just that it takes 2 racks. And you'll see why later. Now we're going to cook our chicken with the onions and the potatoes for 25 minutes. And I kind of want the skin up. And I don't want them to mush get my lovely crispy potatoes all mushed or turned into soggy bits. So I'm just going to try to fit it all. Maybe this tray is too small, but my next largest one is way too big. I use those for cookies, for large batches of cookies. Anyway, I think this looks pretty good. And if it looks good, it might taste good. That's a rule of thumb. Hold on here, because this is hot. But I want to show you. It's going back onto the lower, the rack on 1/3 from the bottom. The chicken, the onions, and the potatoes are all going in now for 25 minutes so that we get a good cook on the meat. And that means up to around 150 degrees in the second stage. And after that, we don't need this pan. After that, we're going to, I need the, ooh. Forgot the lemons. Here we go. Hold on, you guys will understand. You know, we all make mistakes. Throw in some onions. Okay, these aren't onions. What the hell am I talking about? Lemon pieces. Okay, they're just gonna juice it up. And I need to get that last piece up and into the pan. Okay, so they're gonna the lemons will grill up, they'll roast, the juice will flow out, and you'll have a really nice sort of cooked lemon flavor. And that's going in, like I said, until the meat reaches 150, but I know that it will at 25 because I cut them into small pieces. And then we're going to broil it on the rack near the top with the broccolini, and that's going to get the skin going nicely. We want crispy skin, or we want brown skin. Maybe not as crispy as like a roast chicken, but close. Okay, my lovelies, we just want to check in on the chicken. I gotta put my new glasses aside so they don't melt. Looks pretty good. I want to double check the thickest part of the meat with a thermometer. Don't touch the bone, but it should be around 50. Oh, they're already cooked. So I don't think you know what, 165 is cooked for chicken. So we don't need to do much more cooking. We just need to get some more oil on our greens. And these greens are going to go nestled in. And we're going to use the top rack. And we're going to broil. And we're broiling just to get some brownness. And we're going to cook these greens. If they were leafy greens, we would only broil for a minute till it was wilted. But we are using these kind of woody greens, and I want to get it all in there, but I don't. So and I also want to expose the meat so that it gets some browning. And here's some more oil, and just try to get that in there. Anyway, so now we're turning the oven on to broil, and we're moving. Oops, I have to wash my hands off here. To the top. Well, it's not the top rack. It's a third from the top. It's the top third rack, and we're just gonna try to brown the meat without overcooking it. So I'm gonna flip this around, and my oven requires that you keep the door open by 3 inches. I gotta turn the fan on because my heat detectors will go off and make everyone crazy. So we're going to watch that carefully for 2 to 5 minutes. If there were soft greens like spinach or chard, it would be, you would brown the top of the meat for 2 minutes, and then you would add the greens for 1 minute. But these greens are woody, so I want to cook them, but I don't want them to sizzle, like turn into like dead looking things. Okay, so it's been 4 minutes. Everything's looking good from what I can tell. And everything's looking roasty and nice. And the veggies don't look burnt. So turn off the broiler before we get a fire alarm. So what I would like to do is take the Za'atar spiced chicken on half the platter, like that, with the greens on the other side. Okay, so the timer cut me off as it does. I'm not a fan of that feature. So I'm putting the chicken on one side of the platter, which is the Za'atar spiced chicken. Everything looks browned and lovely. And it has copious amounts of, and you know what? It smells really good. It's amazing. I think there must be some kind of oregano in there, along with the sumac. So I just want to get all the vegetables on the plate. And what we're going to do here, just pile it on. Why not? Get the chicken out first. I don't think I can get it all on half the platter. So I need a bigger platter. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's now scoop up all the veggies with the roasted potatoes and kind of fill in the sides. Generally, I want these lemon pieces out. Oh, I think the greens look beautiful. Okay, great. Keep going. They don't look burnt. I always have a problem with broccoli being roasted. You just have to be careful. So we do that. Probably I'll mix this platter around. I do have a bigger platter, but it's too late now. So we're just gonna, you know what? Just take it all, and there's lots of juice, and which is from the lemons and the chicken. You know what I'm going to do though? I'm going to, oh, look how beautiful the potatoes look. Yum. Okay, this isn't a big enough platter for a whole chicken. But in order to make it pretty, I'm going to put the chicken pieces on top, like that. And I'm going to, with some potatoes, hold on, let's get it going. Squeeze it around. Do your thing. Looks really good. I think I'm going to garnish only with the actual vegetables, which are pretty. And then we're going to take some of that's a potato. Okay. And we're going to squeeze, these are hot, the hot lemon juice over the Za'atar chicken. Ooh, they're hot. Okay. It's hot. But makes a nice ready-made juice. I'm going to get that all out of the way. And there's your platter. I don't know if you can see it. I'll take a better photo later. Okay. Enjoy. Bon appetito.